All right, guys. Phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning. As you know, this is Wednesday. This is Wednesday. So the phenomenal Bobby Jackson, the phenomenal Junior Frederick will not be here this morning. They will not be here this morning. But watch this, guys. Listen, did you make it? Did you make it past yesterday, right? So the goons, the ghoulies, and the goblins, right? So everybody came out yesterday, and that's kind of what I want to hint on today. We had an extremely powerful session yesterday, but today I want to start us off with, if you entertain a clown, you become a part of the circus. Listen, guys, listen. You're building your business, you're growing your revenue, you're serving people, you're starting out, you're crushing it. You're doing everything that you can, but you've got these clowns, right? You've got these little birds on your shoulder talking about what you can't do, who you can't be, how you're not going to be successful. The naysayers. Let's call them the naysayers, right? Put it in the chat if you've got some naysayers. Some people who don't believe in your ability. Some people who are mimicking, mocking, or calling for you to respond or reach out and respond to their lunacy. Guys, listen, I promise you, I had the same situation. We all get the same situation. What do they call it? They call it the peanut gallery. Listen, guys, if you got anybody on the peanut gallery, it's okay. You're in phenomenal company. We all had the same thing. We all had the same thing. Every single person that you look up to started their business with one client, and a lot of people saying they couldn't do it. They started school with a lot of people saying they couldn't do it. They incorporated their LLC with a lot of people thinking they couldn't do it. Listen, sometimes the clowns are in your home. Sometimes the naysayers are actually in your home, in your family. Sometimes, watch this. Sometimes the people that you're trying to help are the people that are trying to take away your merit and take away your courage, saying that you can't do it, that you can't be it, that you can't become the person. And what happens when you respond? What happens when you respond to the naysayers, to the people that are saying that you can't do it, that you can't become the person? You become a part of the circus, guys. There's always going to be clowns. There's always going to be clowns. There's always going to be people biting at your heels, trying to compete, saying what you can't do, trying to enforce their will on you and their disbelief and misery and contempt upon you. Oh, man, this is where internal fortitude comes from. You have to be able to resist the naysayers, the clowns, and the non-believers, guys. Listen, I promise you, you have to have resilience. You have to have tenacity. You have to have the ability. Why? Because nobody can be you but you. Nobody knows what you can do. People try to enforce and impose their lack of belief and lack of ability on you and say, because I can't do it, you can't do it. Because I'm not comfortable speaking, you shouldn't be comfortable speaking. Because I'm not going live, you shouldn't go live. Because I'm not successful in my business, you can't possibly be successful in yours. Man, you know, I wish sometimes that we got as much support from our community as other individuals get from their community. I wish it was easier for you. I honestly do. I really do. But listen, if it was easy, then you wouldn't be earning it. And if everybody could get it because it was easy, then the top would be crowded, but it's not. There's enough room for you at the top because the catcallers, the naysayers, the non-believers, and the clowns in the circus, they're at the bottom, guys. They're at the bottom. They're not at the top. They're at the bottom. Why? Because it's easier to throw peanuts from the peanut gallery than it is to actually create something. That's right. It's easier to look at what somebody's doing and say what they can or can't do, or just be a naysayer yourself, a non-believer yourself, a non-dreamer yourself. and talk about what other people are doing than to do it yourself. So I want you to think about that this morning. What is your goal? What is your business? What are you trying to do? Just identify the things that you're trying to do and then identify your supporters. Identify your supporters and also identify the naysayers, non-believers, non-dreamers, and dare I say, the clowns in the circus. The clowns in the circus. You cannot entertain the clowns in the circus. And this is why I say add a 0 to you. We starting early, right? We starting early this morning. Listen, this is why I say add a 0 to you. Because what happens when you add a 0 to your skill set, to your mindset, to your prices, when you add a 0 to your value, what happens is you begin to rise. They always say that the cream rises to the top. When you raise your prices, you rise yourself to the top and people begin to fall off. I'll give you an example, phenomenal example. An eagle may be attacked by small little birds. This happens all the time. So little birds begin to cling on to an eagle and they'll start to peck and poke at him. The eagle doesn't even fight them. The eagle doesn't even fend them off. The eagle just ascends. Truth in nature, guys, the eagle just ascends. And as the oxygen gets thinner, the eagle adds a 0. The eagle adds a 0 to itself. It flies low. Somebody jumps on his back. He's like, okay, there's somebody here. Somebody else jumps on it. Oh, okay, I've got company. Let me add a 0. And he begins to go higher and higher and higher. This is what you need to do with your value, with your mindset, with your skill set, with your prices. You need to go higher and higher and higher. Because as the eagle goes higher, the smaller birds begin to drop off. They can't breathe. As the oxygen gets thinner, they can't breathe anymore. They don't have the oxygen to support them. So one by one, they begin to fall off. I want you to think, who's the bird on your back? Who's the bird on your back? Who's the clown in the circus that you need to add a 0 to yourself so that you can rise, so that you can ascend and they can drop off? Because the kind of mindset that you need, cannot entertain the clowns in the circus. This is your Breakfast with the Brand, and we'll be right back. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Shaan Ride East. I'm proud. I said Shaan Ride East. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Shaan, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. So we're going to get back into it, right? So all in or nothing. All in or nothing. You got to ask yourself, am I all in? Am I committed? This morning, listen, guys, it's the second month of the fourth quarter. We're in the bottom of the ninth, guys. Bottom of the ninth inning. Couple more days, couple more weeks, is going to be the top of the first quarter. The year is going to be over and another year is going to be coming in. Are you all in or nothing? Why? When you leave something in the reserves, when you leave something in the reserves, when you leave something for later, when you have a plan B, you're not giving all of the attention that you need to plan A. Let me just say this to you very clearly. This is why people never get the book done, guys. People never finish the book because they got too many irons in the fire. They got too many irons in the fire. They got too many things going on. As my wife would say, they're all over the place. All over the place. Jack of many trades, master of none. Jack of many trades, master of none. I was speaking to my son earlier. You know, salute to my son. He actually finished something. He accomplished something. He completed something. And I was telling my son this. I said, listen, the world is full of starters. The world is full of starters and the world is full of beginners. Listen, hear me clearly. The world is full of starters and the world is full of beginners and intermediaries. You have to ask yourself, am I a finisher? Am I a completer? I told my son this. I said, listen, when someone shows me their resume and I see degrees on their resume, it shows me that they can complete something. It doesn't say that they're the most talented. It does not say that they're the most talented. It shows me that they can start something and finish. So I want you to think, are you a finisher? Are you a completer of tasks? The world is full of starters. Oh, I started writing the book, but I didn't finish. I went to college, but I just didn't finish. I got married, but then I got divorced. I didn't really finish. I started my business, but then I jumped on to something else. I started speaking, I started coaching, I started writing. This goes on over and over again. I want you to think in your fitness. I started working out. I got the gym membership. Oh, but I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to cancel that. I started, but I couldn't keep it up. What do they say? Life be lifing. That's the excuse. You know, Shaan, life be lifing. It shows up. Life shows up. When does life ever leave, guys? When do responsibilities not show up? This is why you have to add a 0 to you. You have to add a 0 to your value. You have to add a 0 to your activity. And you absolutely must add a 0 to your prices. Why? Because look, it's the first of the month. What does that mean? Bills are coming again. And there's more reason for excuses than not. What's going to happen? Oh, the first came around and life be lifing. Life showed up. Bills showed up. Responsibilities showed up. Things I have to do. Okay. Things you have to do show up all of the time. But don't let that be an excuse as to why you don't finish, why you don't complete, why you don't commit, why you don't execute. The book got done because I didn't have a million things going on. Hear me clearly. The book got done because I didn't have a million things going on. The book got done because I didn't have a million things going on. The book got done because I didn't have a million things going on. You got to make a decision. You know what a decision means? A decision means an incision. It means you cut off everything else. People say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. But then they also say, I'm going to go to the Cheesecake Factory. That's the problem. They say, I'm going to be a speaker. I'm going to start my business, but I'm also going to go to the club. I'm also going to be popular now. Listen, there's good famous and there's hood famous. I'm just trying to give you some jewels, guys. I promise you, like, it's early morning. I'm trying to light you up and get you started the right way. You can't be good famous and hood famous at the same time. You can't say, okay, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to commit. I'm going to get the bachelor's degree. I'm going to get the master's degree in 6 years. And then say during that 6 years, I'm also going to be famous. I'm also going to be in the club. I'm also going to be in the nightclub. I'm also going to do this. And I'm also going to do that. And I'm also. You have to make a decision. You have to have discipline. You have to execute on your plan. If you don't have a plan, then your definiteness of purpose doesn't make a difference, guys. Listen, you say, okay, I got a purpose. I'm going to do this. What do people say? I want to create legacy. I want to create generational wealth. Let me help you out. You cannot create generational wealth without generational health. Let me just put this out there real quick. You cannot create generational wealth without creating generational health. Health is wealth. So while you're focusing on your wealth and while you're focusing on the money piece, don't think you're going to be able to party and do anything that you want as well and have no discipline at the same time, because it's not going to work out. It's not. It's not. Spirit, mind, and body first, guys. You got to put the first things first and make a decision. Decision means to cut off. It's an incision, which means no alternatives, no plan B. Listen, hear me clearly, guys. When I was growing up, there was no little contraceptive plan B thing. Think. There was no plan B. You couldn't plant a seed by mistake and take a pill in the morning and forget what you did during the night. It doesn't work that way. You got too many commitments. You got too many commitments. The reason why we were successful is because I didn't have a plan B. The reason why I got 3 master's degrees was because there was no plan B. The reason why I became successful in my business, the reason why I was able to complete the books one after the other, after the other, after the other, the reason why we have 6 courses and not one, or how many of you say, I started the course? There's a difference between a course creator and a course consumer. Hear me clearly. There's a difference between a course creator and a course consumer. But as a consumer of a course, did you complete it? Did you complete it? The way you do anything is the way you do everything, guys. So as a potential, as a future course creator, right now, as a course consumer, do you complete the course? Or do you go to week 2, week 3, week 4, and then quit? Think of the last course you got. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Anybody went through a course and didn't finish? Anybody jump around from course to course to course? Anybody jump around from community to community to community? Anybody jump around from coach to coach to coach? Anybody jump around from gym to gym to gym? What about diet to diet to diet? Lack of commitment. Lack of commitment, lack of discipline. I told my son, I said, you know what's most treasured and most valued among all people? He said, what? I said, a finisher. A finisher. I don't care what your talents are, guys. I promise you I don't. Sometimes talent is underrated. Let me just say that. Talent is underrated because you'll be talented and you'll be cocky because you're talented. You'll have a skill set, you'll have an ability, and because you have a natural God-given gifted ability, it'll make you think that you don't have to work hard. It'll make you think that you don't have to complete things. It'll make you think that you don't have to have discipline or have to commit. So you know what happens? Let me show you what happens with the talented quitter. In high school, they're an athlete. In their 30s, they're disgraceful. That's right. That's right. Think about the number one voted to succeed, the most popular in high school. The kid who crushed it on the football field and was in all of the parties and in all of the girls' faces. 35, they're a deadbeat. 35, they don't understand. 35, they don't have a clue. And then think of those who were not known in high school, those who didn't have the talent, those who didn't have the charisma, those who weren't in the clubs. Those are the people that own the businesses now. Think about it. Think about how life be. What'd you say, Travis? How life be really lifing. You get to choose. You get to choose who you're going to be. In 5 years, I tell people this. I told them this the first time in my first book, The 7 Prerequisites to Success. I said, listen, we don't get to choose. We don't get to choose who our parents were. People say, Shaan, I was born into a broken home. Shaan, I was born into poverty. Okay, great. Likewise. Likewise. That's not an excuse. I was born in the ghetto. Okay, likewise. It's not an excuse. Shaan, there wasn't after school programs. The schools were bad. Okay, I get it. Same story, same situation. We don't get to choose who our parents were, but we get to choose who our children's parents will be. That's the difference. The difference is we get to choose from this point going forward. As a matter of fact, as soon as we assume responsibility, some people assume responsibility at 45. At the age of 45, they're like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm going to commit. Some people at 25 say, I'm going to commit. I'm done. It's over. Some people at 15. What about you? What about you? When are you going to commit? And when I say commit, I don't mean halfway commit. I mean all the way commit. When are you going to commit 360 degrees? Your entire total self, your entire total business, your entire total persona, every single fiber of your being. When are you going to commit? How many times have you started the book? How many times have you started the course? And I'm talking about the course that you're supposed to be the creator of. There's consumers and creators. There's consumers and creators, and every creator was once a consumer, guys. Hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. Every creator was once a consumer. The creators made a decision. The creators made a decision, which means they made an incision and they cut everything off and they said, from this point forward, I am going to be a producer, no longer a consumer. I am going to be a creator, no longer a partaker. I'm going to create the course. I'm going to write the book. There's nothing wrong with reading. I read all the time, but write too. You understand? Write too. Be a creator. So many people on social media, business media, have this thing on there and ask yourself if this is you. So many people on their profile have content creator, but they don't create content. They identify themselves as content creator, but they don't create content. They're really content consumers, not content producers. Are you a producer or are you a consumer? I know I'm coming hard this morning. I know it's the first. It's the first of the month. It's the first of the month. Do you know where your business is? What did they used to say? It's 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where your children are? It's the first of the month. Do you know where your business is? Do you know where your commitment is? Do you know where your intention is? Do you know where your decision is? Do you know where your incision is? Do you know what you're cutting off? Listen, guys, let this first of the month be really the first of a new mindset. Let this first of the month be the first of a new mindset where you make a list, and not like a lot of other lists, because everybody writes lists. I'm not talking about lists for list's sake. Don't write a list for a list's sake or for the sake of writing a list. Write a list of the things that you're going to cut off this month. Write a list of the things and the people that you're going to cut off this month. And then write a list of the things that you're going to commit to this month. Write a list of the things that you're going to execute on this month. A list of the things that you're actually going to get done and finish this time. We'll be right back. This is The Breakfast with the Brand. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Shaan's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Shaan is the bomb.
What you're looking at right now is the new face of leadership. I chose to go the route of SOE, standards of excellence. So I help people put zeros behind their numbers. I help people move up in or out of their organization and get paid their annual income monthly, their monthly income weekly, and their weekly income daily. I promise you, if you follow me at all, you're gonna wanna use something to write with. CSA first, CSA. Clarify, simplify, and amplify. Clarify, simplify, and amplify. It starts with the decision. Who do you wanna be and what do you wanna do? Who do you wanna be? You have to define that. If you don't know, then it's vague and it'll never be clear. The problem that we have is clarity. We walk into an organization happy to be there, happy that they accepted us, but we don't have a clear goal. That's why people stay in the same organization year after year after year, go to the same vacation spots with the same people and talk the same amount of nonsense around the same water cooler. So when I go into an organization and someone says they've been here for 20 years and they're still around $60, $70, $80,000, I'm like, whew, it's chilly. It's a little bit cold when I know that all it takes for you to raise your prices, whether it's inside or outside of an organization, is self-belief and dedication. Brand you and not what you do. So when I meet people, I ask people, tell me a little bit about yourself, and they immediately tell me what they do. That's not who you are. Branding is who you are. Marketing is how people find out about you. So when you say, I'm a photographer, you just lumped yourself in with a million other photographers. What's special about you? Why should I work with you? I don't need a hand with a camera. I need a man with a story. A woman with a goal, a vision. Someone with an idea of what they want to be and who they want to impact in their lives. That's what moves me. We know where we belong, whether we're in that seat or not. We heard the word legacy and we were pulled to come. I flew in last minute. Let's go. Leadership, legacy, love. Whew, I gotta be there. So what happens in marketing is when you say, I am you put yourself in what we call a red sea. You're now fighting against a million competitors with a million different things. Clarify, who are you? What do you stand for? And then simplify it, don't make it 10 things. Bruce Lee said, I do not fear the man who has thrown 10,000 kicks. He says, I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. You can have the most mouth-watering steak that the world has ever seen, but if you try to position it or place it in a vegan neighborhood, you make no money. Who are you trying to market to? Sometimes we don't support each other. Sometimes you got to go outside of your community, outside of your neighborhood, outside of your phone book to find someone who will support you. So if your business is hurting, think about the place that you're trying to move, whatever it is that you're moving, and the people that you're trying to sell to. You want to become the OVO. The OVO is the only viable option in your vertical. The only viable option in your vertical. We're not here for competition. We're here for domination. We're here for domination. Period. And if you feel differently, you're probably in the wrong room. Is anybody ready for the fifth one? Are you ready for the fifth one? Might want to capture this. Might want to capture this. For God's sakes, man, your prices. Your prices. We should stand out because of price. Some people look for the lowest price. You're making a big mistake because you're defining yourself. Your success comes from mindset and perception. If you're competing over the lowest price, there's a problem. Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands. Train people. I'm going to leave you with this. We train people how to treat us when we meet us based on how we treat ourselves. Brand you and not what you do. Thank you. All right, guys. Brand you and not what you do. Write that down, underline it. Let that become your headline, your operating procedures. Brand you and not what you do. When you entertain a clown, you become a part of the circus. There's a lot of people that don't agree with you. That's okay. There's a lot of people that won't believe in you. That's okay. Don't join the circus. Don't join the circus of people that say, don't get your hopes up. It can't be done. That's for them, not for you. You were born this way. You're going to stay this way. This is your situation. This is your calling. Listen, 80% of millionaires are first generation. First generation, 80%. So only 20% of millionaires, seven-figure earners, inherited that money. They were born into it. They were designated millionaires upon birth. You could have wrote that down as the name. Millionaire Edwards. The rest of us, we earned it first generation. You can earn it first generation if you weren't born into it. But you can't do it without a commitment. You can't do it without being dedicated. You can't do it without being disciplined. You can't do it without adding a zero. You can't do it if you're not all in. If you've got a plan B, you're going to take it. Hear me, guys. If you got a plan B, you're going to take it. There's a phenomenal book. Phenomenal book. The Billionaire Secret. The Billionaire Secret. Write it down. I don't really share a lot of what I read because there's no reason to. Like, the books I read aren't going to help you for where you're at. You understand? Like, it's not always the best thing. That's like me giving you my workout regimen. And people have asked me, Shaan, how do you work out? What is your workout regimen? It doesn't make a difference. If you've never been to the gym or you're not working out, like, my workout regimen is only going to harm you. It's not going to help you. So a lot of times when people ask me, Shaan, what are you reading? It's the same situation. If you're not reading regularly and if you haven't built yourself, then my books, the books that I read, are not going to help you. But I'm going to tell you about this one book. The Billionaire Secret. It's like Think and Grow Rich for billionaires instead of millionaires. And it's also international. So it's not US based. It's an international book about billionaires, not millionaires. And one of the most powerful and useful things that it states, and these are people from third world countries. You think you poor. You think you're going through some stuff. How do you say life be lifing? Listen, life be lifing differently in third world countries than it does here in the US. It's a whole different situation. It's a whole different situation when you're born into a place with no electricity, no running water. And these individuals still find a way not only to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, not only find a way to become a six-figure earner, not only find a way to become a seven-figure earner, but find a way to become a billionaire. Their first generation. They don't make excuses. They don't have plan Bs. They have plan As, and those A plans could take decades to get off the ground. And the more they get distracted, the less they become successful. The more you become distracted, the less you become successful. The less discipline you have, the more likely it is that you're going to veer off course and not be successful. You have to be all in, 360 degrees committed. Everything. Every single thing. You have to sacrifice everything to become. You got to sacrifice all that you are now, all the things that you do now. You might love to watch TV at night. You might have your favorite show. People used to ask me, Shaan, do you watch Power? Shaan, have you ever seen Game of Thrones? Never. Not one episode, not 15 minutes. Why? Because I'm committed. I'm creating my own throne. I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones for, and I'm creating my own throne. How is Game of Thrones going to help Shaan Rais create his throne, the king of branding? How is Game of Thrones going to help the king of branding create his own throne? Do you understand? Never the twain shall meet. The two can't exist. You can't coexist. You got to make a decision. Are you all in or nothing? Or are you committed to nothing? Listen, entertain a clown. Entertain a clown, become a part of the circus. I support everybody and everything they're doing. I'm just not a part of it. I support everybody being successful in all the success that they're into. I'm just not a part of it. So you got to ask yourself, who else's situation am I a part of? How thin am I spreading myself? How many things am I supposed to do in a day or in a week or in a month or in a year? How many commitments do I have? Guys, look at your bank account. Look how many deposits and withdrawals are going out. Sometimes we paying for stuff we forgot about. Sometimes we paying for stuff for years that we forgot about. Like that gym membership, like that diet app, like that fitness app, things we forgot about, we still paying for, and we're not benefiting from it. What am I saying? Make your investments benefit you. Make your payments pay you. People say to me, people come into my program all the time. They're like, Shaan, you know, I've worked with 5 coaches. I've been in 5 courses, 10 courses, and none of them worked. As soon as somebody tells me that, it's a red flag. I'll be honest, guys. Stop complaining, man. Stop complaining. That's like saying the gym doesn't work. When a person comes to me now, I have a preference. I do have a preference in gyms. However, I have been a member of Blink. I have been a member of Gold's Gym. I have been a member of LA Fitness. I have been a member of Planet Fitness. At one time, I have been a member of so many different fitness franchises, down to the nondescript mom and pop joint with no name. Guess what? They all worked. All of them worked. Why? Because I worked. The PAL, the gym in the PAL, the weights in the PAL work. The boxing rings work. LA Fitness works. Planet Fitness works. 24/7 works. Blink works. So the courses that you've taken and the communities that you've been a part of, guess what? They work. If somebody comes to me and says, Shaan, I've been in the gym for 3 years and it's not working over there, I need to change gyms. I say, no, you don't need to change gyms. You need to change think. You need to change the think. You need to change you. You need to change the person that goes to the gym, because it's not the gym that works. If I go to the gym, I'm going to get phenomenal results. Why? Because I'm a phenomenal worker and I'm dedicated and I commit and I have discipline. If you're going to the gym and you're not getting results, it's not the gym's fault. It's the fault of you. If you're in different courses and you're not getting results, it's not the course's fault. It's the fault of you. And I'm not saying there's different levels of quality, because there is. Planet Fitness and Gold's Gym, 2 different qualities. But the fundamentals are the fundamentals. And if you're in Planet Fitness and you commit yourself to Planet Fitness, you'll explode. Whether you want to build muscle, whether you want to shed weight, whether you want to lose fat, whether you want to get hypertrophy and go to the next level in your fitness, that's exactly what will happen. That's exactly what will happen. But it's dependent upon you. So when you go into a course, whether you want to grow revenue, get more clients, get more familiar on social media, get more comfortable in speaking, get speaking gigs, raise your prices, become a better marketer, you can do all of those things. And yes, just like there's different qualities in gyms, I'm sure there's different perspectives and some different quality. The cameras, the platform, Kajabi, Teachable, Lightspeed. There's a lot of different variables, but the main variable is you. You are the main variable. We going in this morning, huh? Am I talking to somebody this morning on the 1st? Let this be the first day. Let this be the first day of your next commitment and the last day of not executing. Let this be the first day of your next level of commitment, your next level of dedication, your next level of determination, your next level of execution, your next level of discipline. And let this be the last day of your lack of everything I just said. Because I guarantee you, if you cut off the lack, you will cut off the lack in your life. Cut off the lack of discipline. You'll cut off the lack of revenue. Cut off the lack of commitment. You'll cut off the lack of clients. And you'll be able to enjoy all of those things in abundance. But first, the abundance must have to be present. It has to be present in you. And this is why I say brand you and not what you do, because it's not about what you do. It's about who you are. Listen, guys, this is why things don't work for some people. Some things don't work for some people because they always bring themselves. I used to come from a place where nothing worked. I used to be the person that nothing worked for. School didn't work. Relationships didn't work. Everybody was the same and it was all against me. I had all of the excuses in the world. until I finally took a long, hard look. And I told you guys, it's my wife. My wife changed my life. My wife made me take a long, hard look in the mirror and say, it's not the government. It's not the Democrats or the Republicans. It's not who's in office. It's not even the police. It's me. It's not schools. It's not the school system. It's not the educational system. You can go to private or public, Catholic or military. It's not the schools. It's you. It's me. It's not money or the lack of it. And the Billionaire Secret will teach you that. It's not money. Sometimes money becomes a curse. You become comfortable and comfy. You become reserved. You become laid back. You become less assertive, less aggressive, less execution oriented because you got a little bit of money. Sometimes talent doesn't make it happen. Talent doesn't make it happen. You can be a superstar in high school and a failure in real life. Be the most predicted to succeed and a phenomenal failure in your relationships, in your marriage, in your health, in your finances. Are you feeling a convicting spirit right now? Is your spirit convicting or is your spirit conflicting? Which one? I used to have a conflicting spirit. I was conflicted. Now I'm convicted. I was conflicted and now I'm convicted, guys. Listen, I promise you. Let go of the distractions, pick up the discipline. Let go of doing everything for everybody and pick up the execution. Let go of the clowns. Stop entertaining the clowns and stop being a part of the circus, guys. You'll create a whole new world. Sometimes you need to just shut down. Like shut it down, like turn off the phone. Sometimes you might need to just break the phone and get away. Because there's some people on your phone that are not energy providers. They're energy vampires. They're not providing energy. They're draining you. And sometimes they have the same last name. How do they say a wolf in sheep's clothing? Sometimes they come from the same tribe, from the same bloodline with the same last name. Sometimes they got the same parents. Sometimes it is your parents. I'm not saying that you don't have things against you because we all do. What I'm saying is don't become one of the things against you. Don't become one of the people. Don't allow your lack of discipline to become one of the compounding effects to add to the reasons why you're not going to be successful. Change it all. Change it all. And it starts with you. It starts with you. This morning, make a commitment. Write your lists. Write your list of the things that you're no longer going to do, the people that you're no longer going to allow to vampire your energy. And then write a list of the new things that you're actually going to commit to and actually going to execute on, and make a date. Put a date there. Because how do you say a goal without a date is only a wish? A goal without a date is only a wish. Set a goal, set a date. Set a number, and then put down who, and what you're going to sacrifice to get it done. You got to understand, for me to complete college, I had to cut off friends. For me to complete college, I had to cut off friends. I didn't have time for friends. I had time for family, and even there it was sparingly. I had time for core members of family. Extraneous, extended family? No, none, not at all. I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm locked in. I'm all in or nothing. I'm there for my family. I'm there for the most important members of my family. I'm not there for everybody. And the only reason why I was able to finish, the only reason I was able to execute, the only reason I was able to complete is because of the people, places, and things that I let go of. So when you set your goals, set your sacrifices. Yes, Keishan, energy vampires. Phenomenal morning, guys. I see you. Tia, Travis, Jordan, I see you guys. Phenomenal morning. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're on X. We're on YouTube. Listen. Take your life seriously because no one else will. Take your commitment seriously because no one else will. Take your goals seriously because no one else will. They will accept you as you are. They will accept you as you are. Stop accepting people that accept you as you are. If you surround yourself with people who will accept you as you are, you're never going to grow. You're never going to level up. You'll remain the same person. Find yourself in a community. Get yourself around people that are going to demand more from you and more of you, and not let you settle, and not let you be weak, and not let you not commit, and not let you not execute. Get around executors. Find yourself into an executive community with executive finishers, and your life will never be the same. Put yourself in the right environment. But there's something that you have to do. There's another thing that you have to do when you get into the right environment. You got to be the right person. You got to be the right person, because you can have the right membership. All of your gym memberships, they're the right membership. If you're not getting the results, you're not the right person. Because if you give me that membership, I'm going to turn up, trim down, swell up, all of that. All of that. There's so many people okay, so I'm going to finish on this. There's more associate's degree holders than there are bachelor degree holders. There's more bachelor's degree holders than there are master's degree holders. And there are more master's degree holders than there are PhD degree holders. It begins to thin out the more you execute. The more you execute, the more elbow room you'll have. Because there'll be a lot of people that quit, and there'll be a lot of people that didn't finish. And those are the clowns that talk about what you can't do. If you entertain them, then you become a part of the circus. Don't become a part of the circus. Do everything you can not to become a part of the circus. Keep your commitments, keep your covenants, keep your investments, keep your word, keep your integrity, keep your discipline, keep your dedication, keep your honor, keep your self-respect, keep your self-esteem, and add a 0 to all of them. Let's grow. This is Shaan, and this has been another edition of the Breakfast with the Brand.